Assalamu alaikum aspirants. This is your academic associate Ali Hassan, and I would like to welcome you on behalf of 𝐓𝐡𝐞𝐨𝐫𝐲 CSS PMS. Today, I'm going to discuss a very unique theoretical concept that you might have not heard before, and it might again help you in current affairs, political science, and international relations. To understand the concept of new wars theory, we need to understand what constitutes an old war. So basically, old war is a domain in the concept of Clausewitzian war in which two parties fight, one gets defeated, the other one wins. And this phrase, the victor and the vanquished, applies quite aptly on the concept of old war. Now, moving towards the concept of new war, it is like a social condition that keeps on changing. It's a different concept altogether as compared to old war because it involves various factors. These factors include political factors, economic factors, social factors, cultural factors. And these factors constitute to again restructure the concept of new wars theory. Now, there are certain factors involved in financing the concept of new wars. These factors include external support, smuggling, human trafficking, drug trafficking, sex trafficking, loot, and pillage. Basically, once again, all these factors combine to breed violence, and violence breeds revenue generation. The more violence it creates, the more revenue it generates. So basically, the nature again of new wars theory is quite predatory in nature. Now, we also need to understand different traits of new wars theory. Number one, we need to understand its geographical expression, where it is found in the contemporary era. It is found in Eastern Europe, it is found in Middle East, it is found in Africa, and in some parts of Asia. Moving towards the next concept, that it involves decentralized military groups that are further transnationalized by the use of tools like, ideology and funding. It involves private military groups, it involves urban warfare, it involves civil war, right? And the last factor, last but not the least, is the political manipulation of the masses by the use of identity politics. So again, the use of force becomes quite uncertain, right? Now, moving towards the practical application of this theory that you guys can use in terms of critical analysis. We can take the example of post-1919 Somalia. During that era, there was this concept of and the prevalence of, warlordism. There were different power factions operating in Somalia. These power factions fought with one another continuously. So fighting went on and on and on. So aspirants, it is quite necessary to understand the practical application of this theoretical framework. And to understand it quite comprehensively, I would like to discuss the example of post-1919 Somalia. During that period, Somalia was fraught with issues like civil war, clan militia, warlord politics. And due to these different power factions operating in Somalia, there was the rise of terror networks and terror financing, which further labeled the economy of Somalia as the war economy. Moreover, there was external involvement involved as well, such as Kenya and Ethiopia were actively engaged in expanding their vested interests in the time period when, Somalia was engaged in this civil war. So now we see how different armed groups, they fight for power struggle and how crime, politics, and identity get mixed up. So moving towards its solutions, what are the alternative strategies to avoid such kind of grim reality to, rise further? First of all, we need to adopt a more localized approach. By this localized approach, I mean we need to engage civil society, we need to engage with academic intelligentsia to devise local solutions to arrest the rot of such kind of phenomenon that is known as the new wars. So thank you so much, aspirants. It was all from my side. I would like to sign off from the network of 𝐓𝐶 CSS PMS, and I would be looking forward for your feedback and insights through our comment section. Allah Hafiz.